And welcome to Newton, Ohio, or Iowa, I should say, for the Iowa Speedway race in the Truck Series of the Short Track Super League. Pretty much all the guys that we just saw running the modifieds are here as well. With the exception of Austin Reedy, he's one that did not run the modifieds, and he is out here in his number one truck practicing already. We are at the final moments of the practice session, getting ready to qualify here for 125 laps at the Iowa Speedway. We are going to be doing 3 laps of qualifying, and they will have 5 minutes allocated for that. The pit speed limit is 40 miles an hour. And let's bring you some information on the Speedway here, Iowa Speedway, as said, located in Newton, Iowa. The track length is just under a mile, 9/10 of a mile. It is a D-shaped oval, as we are so familiar with in all kinds of NASCAR classes. The ambient temperature here, as the sun is setting, is 69 degrees Fahrenheit. We have a relative humidity of 50%, partly cloudy skies, and no winds to speak of. 72 degrees Fahrenheit is the track temperature. That makes for a fairly cool track. Excuse me, that should not hinder the drivers all that much. Although, obviously, this is going to be about throttle control as much as anything, and we saw the 52 there wash up into the wall just for a little bit. It is not going to be completely easy. It is not flat out all the way. It is definitely there you see him wash up again into the wall. It is definitely a matter of conserving your tires and making sure you're not overdriving the car. All right, so this is the penultimate round in the championship. Next week we're going to round things up at Rockingham Speedway, and that means that we can show you the points as we are getting started for tonight. It is Mark Herzog that is leading the point standings with 289 points. Samuel Fontaine, winner of the modified race just earlier this evening, he is in second place with 221 points. Matthew Teller is third. Then it's Brandon Hughes, Michael Steffen, Jason Cole, Brent Allen, Jake Brooks, Richard Benedetto, Jeff Horniak, Kevin Davis, Kevin Anderson, and Michael Benedetto, and Bradley Miner is 14th in the point standings. So we have 14 drivers here tonight. I'm not sure if Brandon Hughes is here. I don't see him. He is fourth in the standings, but not currently present here at the race. So Reedy is doing a good job here, being the quickest in town currently. His best lap was a 23.48. Timothy Trowbridge, second place driver in the modifieds earlier this evening in the 074 car. He is out there and has already pushed himself up to the second position there. There we see Michael Benedetto being in trouble. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Ooh, just gets really loose there on entry. And let's see, we have Matthew Telder in the 02 car. Guys are driving a fixed setup in this race. That means that they cannot alter the suspensions or the aero package, which leaves them basically to playing a little bit with the brake bias and the steering ratio, and that is pretty much all they can do. Practice is over. As you know, these two series in the Short Track Super League do not use fast repairs, so any damage that they will pick up during the race is going to be theirs to deal with, to either have it fixed and lose the time in the pits, or just deal with it and lose the time on the track. Qualifying has started, folks, and one of the first cars out there is the 669 of Michael Steffen. They have 3 laps they can do. Ooh, and it looks like Michael is overshooting that exit of the turn, a little too eager on the gas. And he's going to have to retry that. He didn't pass the line, I believe, so that means he still has his 3 laps. Well, let's go check on some of the other guys. Austin Reedy is out there. And I don't see any times posted just yet. There we go. Mark Herzog is putting his car on the provisional pole there with a 23.769. Reedy is in second. O'Brien in the 74 is in the third spot, with Jake Brooks in the 57 in fourth. Jake now bringing it up to the second position with a 23.911. And being surpassed by Reedy and O'Brien again. Michael Steffen now brought it into the sixth position. And O'Brien in trouble there in the 74. Let's see what happened to him. He's very close to the wall. And it looks like he does the same thing there, getting a little too eager on the throttle and turning that car around. And that'll be something we need to be watching for during the race. We got to make sure that we keep the nose heading in the right direction. Timothy Trowbridge in the 074 is in fourth position. Matthew Telder having a spin there as well. See what he is doing. Pretty much the same thing. There we go. It looks like the cars are a little bit loose here, and they're going to have to be careful during the race to make sure they don't get on the gas too quickly. Well, I will say he keeps it out of the wall. Making a little victory circle about that. And then he's just having a little fun. All right, it looks like Trowbridge has actually passed Mark Herzog there for the quickest lap time, with a 1,000th of a second difference there. As you can see on the bottom of your screen, on their third laps, they posted their best times there, and 1,000th of a second is separating these guys. So that tells you it is pretty close. Richard Benedetto is, well, it looks like he's getting ready to go out. He hasn't posted a time yet. Well, Matthew Teller hasn't been out. Well, he's been out, but he hasn't posted a time. Fontaine is not here yet in qualifying. Jeffrey Eddy and Davin Caldwell. That is also a driver that I don't believe we've seen much before. And Richard is not yet moving. He makes noise. That's a good sign. And he better get going if he wants to get that qualifying lap in. 10 drivers have posted a time. We have 15 drivers here. Devin Caldwell, I hope it's Devin. I guess it's Devin, I'm not sure. In the number 15 car there, getting out on track. The iRacing livery. Ooh, there he goes wrong already. And that pretty much brings his qualifying attempt to a halt, because the time is going to run out before he gets back out on track. He can try, but 3 seconds, that's not going to work. So there you have it, folks. That is your qualifying for the Iowa race here, the penultimate round of the series. Let's pull up your grid here. Cars are going to be lining up, I'm sure, in pit road. There we have them. Timothy Trowbridge will be on pole position. Mark Herzog is alongside him on the outside. The second row is for Austin Reedy and Adam O'Brien. The third row is for Jake Brooks and Jeff Horniak. The fourth row will be for Bradley Miner and Michael Steffen. Then the 5th row will be Michael Benedetto and Jason Coe. The 6th row will be Samuel Fontaine and Matthew Telder. And the 7th row will be David Cardwell and Richard Benedetto, and Jeffrey Eddy will be on the 15th spot. And I'm not very sure if he is actually going to take that start. We don't see him yet. We see Richard Benedetto there in the 52 car, and Jeffrey Eddy in the 126 is still missing in action. And we're also still waiting for Timothy on pole position. He is yet to grid up. The 24 car there, that is Bradley Minor. Ooh, looks like he may have a connection issue. There we see Timothy. We're still waiting for Jeffrey Eddy, not showing up just yet. Samuel Fontaine in the 91, winner of the modifieds race tonight. Earlier this evening, and he's eager to get going. There we go, the field is rolling out. And as said, what we'll have to watch for is people getting in trouble there, coming off the turns. They're going to have to be a little bit careful on the gas, especially on the cold tires when they just get started. There's the 61 of Jeff Horniak. I believe that's a new paint scheme on that car. And let's see else here. The 24 of Minor. Still haven't seen Jeffrey Eddy. Final car here in line is David Cardwell in the 15 car. Nicely lined up here. There you see the O2 waving a little bit there. That is Matthew Telder. That's actually Jason Coe that was doing the waving. Cars look a little bit alike. And if you saw the modifieds race, Timothy is new to the series. And it looks like he's doing a pretty good job. The green flag is out. We are racing here at Iowa Speedway. 125 laps to go. It is Timothy Trowbridge in the lead in front of Mark Herzog, who is getting caught there on the high side, being careful, obviously, on cold tires. Austin Reedy in third. Adam O'Brien in fourth. Jake Brooks in the 57 is in fifth, and the 24, oh, there it goes wrong for the 74. And it looks like not everybody gets by him completely unscathed. Let's bring that back for you. The 74. And it looks like he kind of unclear what happens there. Ooh, Fontaine in trouble. Fontaine and Benedetto in trouble there. Let's bring that back one more time. It's not clear if they touch or not. Well, if they did, it looks like they did. Yes, it looks like they did. The nose of that the 24 car does look like it's damaged a little bit. And it looks like Adam O'Brien can get back out pretty good. Not sure if the rear end of that truck is damaged. And it may have been yeah, it's damaged. It may have been a little bit of a combination of both Adam getting a little loose and having to slow down, and the 24 car not being able to stay away from him there. You can't just slam on the brakes on speeds like this. That is not, excuse me, that is not going to help anybody. Looks like Jake is shown to go into the pits, but he actually isn't, and the same is true for Minor. And that's because we were on delay. I apologize. They are in the pits as we speak. Both trying to get that machine fixed up again for as good as they can get it, and that would mean that we would like to see where they are compared to the field there. They want to stay ahead of the field, not go down a lap. And that means they would have to go back out. Well, I would say now would be a pretty good time to start going out. You don't want to have the pit lane close. Bradley Minor is leaving. Jake Brooks is leaving. They're going to have to try and stay in front of the field there. Trowbridge is still leading the race. Looks like he is going to opt to stay on the outside. Lights on the pace car are still on, so they're not lining them up just yet. So unfortunate for Minor and Brooks there. I'm sorry for Minor and O'Brien. And Brooks did come into the pits, but O'Brien stayed out. He is evidently thinking that he's going to have to deal with that damage on track, and he might just find out that it's not all that bad. Aero will play a factor on a track like this. We're going fast enough for aero to be somewhat of a factor. Maybe not as huge as the big speedways, but definitely drafting is going to be important here, and the aero being distorted by damage can definitely slow you down. Jeff Horniak here in the 61. He's running in 4th. And that means that Cardwell has done a pretty good job on those opening laps, picking up 8 positions. He's in 5th now. Benedetto picked up some positions in the 25 car. Had a bit of an unlucky race there at the modifieds earlier this evening.
Green flag, green flag.
And we're with a single file restart. We are once again going at it. Timothy Trowbridge is in the lead, pulling away about half a second from Herzog. It's Austin Reed in 3rd and Jeff Horniak in 4th and David Cardwell in 5th. Ooh, there you can see how David has to catch that car coming off the turn. He does a very good job at that. I can tell you from experience that is not an easy thing to do. And he's coming underneath the 61 there of Horniak. David actually running the quickest lap of the race and picking up 4th position underneath that 61 car. The 61 going down to see if he can do anything. Ooh, and then he washes up. Watch out there. Washes up quite high. Trowbridge now posting the best lap time. And he's got Mark Herzog behind him there. Reedy in 3rd, being attacked here now by David Cardwell. David's looking pretty racy here early on. Can't quite get it done yet. trying to go to that bottom line. You see that some of the drivers are staying a little bit higher up, trying to keep a little bit more momentum. Low doesn't always mean faster. Even though you're traveling the shortest distance, you're also scrubbing away more speed. And I think Davin is finding that out here. He started pretty enthusiastically, but he might be using up those tires fairly quickly. Let's ride along with him once again, going down quite far. The number one not quite alongside him just yet. And it looks like he gets underneath there now. Austin Reedy has better momentum coming off the turn on that higher line. Same situation. This time Davin gets a little bit further underneath him. Once again, Austin is coming off that turn better. Side by side on the backstretch. Now he might be able to get along in front of him. There you have it. Davin Cardwell picks up third position in front of Austin Reedy. Let's see what else we got going on here. We have Matthew Telder dealing with Jason Cole. No, I'm sorry, that is the O2 of, that is Matthew Telder. He is working his way around Michael Steffen. I got a little confused there. That number is not very legible. But it looks like Matthew Telder in the O2 has picked up that 7th spot from Michael Steffen. And it looks like he's pulling away a little bit already and going for the 61 of Horniak in 6th position. That means that Benedetto in the 25 car has also worked his way past the 61. It looks like the 61 washes up a little bit more than maybe he would want to. Matthew Telder is already closing in on him. There you see the O2 taking the lower line and already getting alongside the 61 there. Oh, he does a very good job. He's looking very strong. Telder picks up 6th and immediately goes after the 25 of Benedetto. Already alongside going into turn 1. The 25 comes off that turn. Well, I was going to say better, but it's not quite getting in front of the O2. And there you see Matthew Telder picks up 5th position from Michael Benedetto and pulls away. And Richard Benedetto is in quite some hefty traffic here with Jason Cole right behind him. Jake Brooks working his way back up in the 57 car. Samuel Fontaine in the 91 in 13th position there. He's hanging with this group. And meanwhile up front we missed a pass for the lead. Let's bring that back for you. Oh, there we see the 074 of Trowbridge scraping that wall, and that's how Mark Herzog got past him. So Mark Herzog picks up the lead. The 074 of Timothy Trowbridge. We'll try to see if we can see that right side. Well, it doesn't look too bad. And David Cardwell has picked up third position. He has passed Austin Reedy. It looks to me like David is looking pretty racy here tonight. Lap 24 of a 125, and he has worked his way up 10 positions towards the third spot right now. Matthew Telder also doing really good business in fifth position. He has gained 7 since the start of the race. Richard Benedetto is also one of the bigger climbers. 5 positions since the start of the race. And there he goes past Michael. Oh, you could see it coming. You could see it coming. That was pretty obvious. The 57 going underneath the 25 as the 25 is deciding to try and defend his position on the bottom there. There you have him. Just a little tap is all you need. And then the 669 gets into the wall as well. Not all that bad, but still. The 25 of Michael Benedetto going to pit lane. See if he can get that stuff fixed up a little bit. It doesn't look like it's all that bad. Ooh, overshoots his pit box there a little bit. Has to back it up. And that's going to bunch them all up, obviously, and that'll be good news for David Cardwell. No takers to pit road. Well, that's not entirely true. Michael Steffen is going to pit road. Samuel Fontaine going to pit road. Bradley Minor and Michael Benedetto was already there. Those guys in the back, they kind of have that advantage. They can go to pit road, and it's not going to cost them any track position because they'll just catch up to the back end of the pack there. So that's a good thing to do, and that means that they're topped off as far as fuel is concerned, and obviously got some brand new tires on those cars. Ooh, the 24 overshoots his pit stall there by just a little bit, has to back it up as well. That is Bradley Minor doing that. So these guys, new tires and topped off fuel. If there's another yellow, obviously they could stay out, but if the other drivers will have to pit under green, then obviously they are going to be in good shape. Mark Herzog, a strong driver in this truck series, being challenged here tonight by newcomer Timothy Trowbridge. And David Cardwell also running very strong here in the iRacing livery. Austin Reedy currently in 4th. Matthew Telder in 5th. And it looks like Telder has a little bit of damage on that front end. The 74 is no different, front and rear damage. Jeff Warniak in the red 61 car there, looking in good shape. Richard Benedetto in the 52, made up 6th positions since the beginning of the race. So good job for him. Michael Benedetto back out. He is now 2 laps down. And it doesn't look like the damage is really terrible, but it is a little bit there. The lights on the pace car have been turned off. That means we're going to line them back up. And there in the back of the pack, you can see the guys that took the pit stops. Didn't lose much position at all. They just take a gamble here. 30 laps until this caution, so with a smaller field, the odds of yellows are a little bit lower, obviously. Might be a good decision that they took. There we go, racing once again. Mark Herzog in the lead, followed by Trowbridge and Cardwell in third. Austin Reedy in fourth. Matthew Telder and there we have Trowbridge side by side with the 47 of Herzog. Getting really racy here. It looks like he's overshooting that turn and overdriving that car in there, and it looks like Cardwell can take advantage of that. Well, it's not quite close enough. Trying once again. It is pretty easy to overdo it coming into those turns, and then you wash up way too high. The higher up you get, the more you get into the dirty track. The marbles are there, the dust is there. And Davin Cardwell now on the inside, making life a little bit harder for the 074 of Trowbridge. Once again, the 074 running very, very high there. Too hard into the turn. Looks like the 15 is taking advantage of that. Austin Reedy there, close behind. Looking for any mistake those guys would be making. And meanwhile, Herzog is taking advantage of the fact that those guys are duking it out together. He pulls away by about 0.6 of a second. And Cardwell still hasn't made it happen, but he's trying hard enough. Trying to catch that draft there. And then he goes into the turn a bit lower. And coming off the turn, the higher side works good for Timothy. Oh, look at that. We have Adam O'Brien going underneath these guys here in the 74 car. He's getting racy. Challenging the 02 and the 1. And it looks to me like Adam O'Brien has picked up 2 positions. No, not quite. He didn't pass the 1 yet. But you can't say he's not trying. He's, ooh, Telder washing up almost into the wall. O'Brien having a good run here on the 1. And indeed, it looks like Adam O'Brien has worked his way past 2 cars there in a matter of just a few laps, picking up 4th position and going after Cardwell and Trowbridge. And those 2 are still not done. Cardwell hasn't been able to pass yet, but he's definitely still going at it. The 074 washing up very high there. And that brings the 15 alongside into turn 3. And it looks like Davin picks up 2nd position here. Mark Herzog is gone by about 1.5 seconds. Adam O'Brien closing in rapidly on the 074. Reedy and Telder cannot keep up with him. Adam O'Brien wants a good result here, that's for sure. Had bad luck in the modifieds race and is definitely trying better here. Coming to the inside of the 074. Not quite done with it yet, but it is definitely getting close. once again, the lower side works well coming in the turn. The higher side works a little bit better coming off the turn. Still side by side. Has he made it happen here? It kind of looks like it. Adam O'Brien, oh, Timothy comes back. Fighting back on that higher side. Now it looks like O'Brien has got it done. Slots in front of the 074 there, going after the 1. I'm sorry, going after the 15 of Cardwell there. Oh, and Timothy, bit of a wave there, trying to come underneath. Takes back the position. And now he gets to pick and choose where he wants to draft. Adam finding out that that higher side works all right. This trying to over-under is what you would call this. And folks, just take a quick look in the mirror of that car and see the beautiful helmet design of Adam O'Brien there. For those of you that are not yet in iRacing and looking to do so, you can pretty much customize everything. You can customize your car, you can customize your suit, even your gloves and your shoes, and your helmet, obviously. Well, Adam O'Brien is back at the tail end of this trio here, but it's not for lack of trying. He can keep up with them pretty good. Austin Reedy and Matthew Teller going at it behind him. Michael Steffen there in the 669, trying to hang on. And then there's a little bit of distance to Jeff Horniak, and Samuel Fontaine has worked his way steadily up. Those newer tires are definitely helping him in the 91 car. He's worked his way up to 9th now. Brooks trying the same thing. He's got a little bit more damage on that front end that might be hurting him a little bit. Let's go check back on these guys. Once again, O'Brien getting very close, coming alongside. O'Brien taking the position. And it looks like they're stretching out a little bit of a gap there, with O'Brien closing in on Trowbridge. Mark Herzog is gone by about 3.6 seconds ahead of these guys. Jason Coe is going after Richard Benedetto, and Bradley Minor is mixing in there as well. And that is for 11th, 12th, and 13th position. Minor was also one of the early pit stops. Ooh, it looks like he's got a bit of a connection issue. And they're having a lot of fun here in the back of the pack. Ooh, the 24 washes up a little bit. Jason Coe has to go high and slow down and let go Richard Benedetto. Trowbridge and O'Brien still going at it for second place. And it looks like O'Brien is running very strong against the 074. picking up that second position, but once again, coming off the turn, it is Timothy that brings it back and noses ahead again. That's kind of the story here. The low line works good going into the turn. The high line works good coming off. Now he's got him. Adam O'Brien picks up second position. Taking a defensive line there. Cardwell catching back up with these guys. Austin Reedy there also seems to be catching up. In the number one, Matthew Telder hanging in there as well. Mark Herzog is way out there now, 4.6 seconds ahead. Running very strong once again. And it definitely looks like Cardwell is catching back up to Trowbridge. Tires are starting to become a factor here. Lap 57 of 125. These guys have not been in the pits yet, so they've got 58 laps on these tires. And I'm fairly sure they're going to start to feel that. Reedy and Telder seem to be dropping back from these guys just a bit. And they're still having some fun there for 5th and 6th position. Riding along with David Cardwell. Currently in 4th. He's getting pretty close now. Getting underneath there. Ooh, almost touching there. And right behind them, further down, you see Telder and Reedy in a similar battle. Telder seems to be nosing ahead there of Austin Reedy. Yeah, that lower side allows you to go into the turn a little bit harder. But coming off the turn, that higher side works pretty good. And there we missed Cardwell going past Trowbridge. Let's see if we can bring that back really quickly. There you have it. The 074 washing up very high. He's struggling with his tires, it looks like. And that allows the 15 to pick up 3rd position. Adam O'Brien is about 1.6 seconds ahead of these guys. And he is about 5 seconds behind Mark Herzog. Herzog's walking away with this. He's working his way past the back markers there, passing the 57 of Brooks, Jake Brooks. It looks like Horniak is next in line to get lapped. But he is not quite there yet. And the same, obviously, the other guys are going to have to be dealing with all this traffic as well. O'Brien running by himself here. Cardwell seems to be pulling away from Trowbridge a little bit now. And Telder seems to be pulling away from Reedy. Samuel Fontaine has worked his way up to 7th position, slowly but steadily. He has about 4.7 seconds on Michael Steffen in 8th. And then Jeff Horniak in 9th, the final car on the lead lap. Fontaine not entirely unscathed. Fontaine actually shifting in the turns. I don't see very many of them do that. And for example, if we ride along with Cardwell, let's see if he does any. He does not shift. He keeps it into 4th gear. And to be honest with you, power-wise, I don't think that the shifting is really necessary. And it actually might be preferable not to do it, to not upset the weight distribution in the turns. So every move you make, braking, accelerating, or shifting will shift the center of gravity a little bit. And that's what you want to avoid. Cardwell having back markers going out of his way. They're very good about it. 57 of Jake Brooks. Adam O'Brien in 2nd position, still about 4.6 behind Mark Herzog. Mark Herzog has a good cushion there. Not too much worry for him. Cardwell is 4.5 behind O'Brien. So the field at top there has stretched out quite a bit. 1.3 seconds between Cardwell and Trowbridge. Telder is closing in on Trowbridge, and Reedy is there as well. These guys are all dealing with back markers, obviously, and dealing with tires that are going down. There we see Samuel Fontaine working his way into this group as well. He has caught up with Austin Reedy. Remember, the 91 of Fontaine did pit on lap 27. Now, we're far enough away from that pit stop that the difference is not huge, but it definitely still is a difference. And there we see Trowbridge going for pit road. Ooh, almost misses the entry there. Almost runs into that retainer wall. He has decided enough is enough on these tires. And that... There we see the O2 go around. I thought I saw something. We are not going yellow because he is not on the racing line. Let's bring it back one more time. Keep your eye on the O2 here. It's actually the 52 that comes down, bouncing off the wall and touches him. He almost saves it. Oh, he did a really good job there. Almost caught it, but it is not easy, trust me. And he's back on his way. We're not going yellow. He takes it down to pit road. Those tires are probably burned up by now. Meanwhile, still in the lead, Mark Herzog, 5.9 seconds ahead of Adam O'Brien. And he in his turn is 4.7 seconds ahead of Davin Cardwell. Samuel Fontaine has passed Reedy and Jeff Horniak, and he is now in 4th position. And this is exactly what he was been hoping for. The other guys having to pit under green, that is going to mean much for him. Jake Brooks coming down pit road. Jake is running 12th currently and 2 laps behind the leader. Let's go check back on Samuel Fontaine. Reedy cannot keep up with him. And that is the difference between the tires. Fontaine's tires are 27 laps newer than everybody else's. Austin Reedy has decided to go into the pits and get some new tires. We are at lap 81. And Richard Benedetto is doing the same thing there. Ooh, Cardwell has come back up to Fontaine. No. Fontaine was in 4th. Horniak in 5th position still. Car looks still very clean. Michael Steffen in 6th. Not completely unscathed on that left rear. You can see a little bit of damage. Bradley Minor in the 24 car in 7th with Jason Coe right behind him. These guys are not on the lead lap. Currently, only the first 4 cars are on the lead lap. Richard Benedetto leaving pit. And it'll be, we'll have to wait and see how long these guys can stay out. Lap traffic is keeping Mark busy. There we see the 074 of Trowbridge going by the leader. That is not for position. Timothy is just getting his lap back. He's actually one of his laps back. Mark Herzog into the pits. Your leader. He has seen the difference in tire grip with the 074 of Trowbridge there, and he has decided that it's time to come in. That currently leaves David Cardwell in the lead. Obviously, he still has to pit. Fontaine is also in the pits once again, so they might be calculating towards the end here. And Herzog is back out, and believe it or not, he is back out in 2nd position with Cardwell going into the pits as we speak.
The yellow flag is out.
Oh, yellow flag out. Let's go find out what happened. It's the number 1. Austin Reedy. What happens? He just has a little bit of a loose wiggle there. The back end steps out. He overcorrects it, and as soon as he corrects it, the tires get grip again, and he runs it into the wall. That looks like maybe a silly mistake, but it's not. It is extremely difficult at those speeds. Catching a slight oversteer is very difficult, because as soon as the back end catches grip again, that car, you got the wheel turned in the wrong direction, and that car heads straight for the wall. Well, let's see if he decides to go in. No, not yet. He is a little slow below the line there. Michael Steffen is going into the pits. Trowbridge back into the pits. Telder into the pits. Not sure what happened to Trowbridge. He had already pitted, I believe. I'm hearing something. There we see Fontaine catching back up to the field. It looks like Fontaine's going back into the pits again. He might be looking to get some of that damage fixed. And meanwhile, it is Mark Herzog still out there in front. Cardwell behind him in second. And that is Richard Benedetto in between there. He's a back marker. Trowbridge in third also has a back marker there. Then it's Michael Steffen in fourth. Fontaine back in the pits, still shown in fifth, but he's probably going to lose that to O'Brien. Not sure why Fontaine went back in. There we see O'Brien coming, and that means he will get by Fontaine. Nope, he doesn't. And that's because he is almost a lap down. Fontaine stays ahead of him in fifth. So by the time we get going, some of those cars will get the wave around, and normally they put the lapped cars in the back, so the race leaders will be together to fight for position. And that is good news for Samuel Fontaine if he's in fifth position. So the 74 and the 25 will get waved by the pace car, the pace truck here, probably right now. Yep, there we go. And they will get to the back end of the field. So it's Herzog, Cardwell, Steffen, Trowbridge, Fontaine, and O'Brien. And as I can judge from Benedetto being there, the slower cars are not being forced to go to the back. The pace car is in. Here we go. Mark Herzog hits the gas early. Cardwell right behind him, trying to catch the draft towards turn 1. And Trowbridge right behind there in third. Oh, the 15 loses it.
The yellow flag is out.
The 15 loses it. David Cardwell, it doesn't look like he takes anybody with him, and it doesn't look like he hits anything, but he got on the gas a little bit too hard there. Let's bring that back one more time. There you see it happening already. Coming off the turn, he's on the gas too eagerly. Cold tires. Doesn't hit anything. He gets away with it pretty good, but he loses a lot of track position. And that'll probably keep a single file for the next restart. And there we see, what is that? Jason Coe getting the wave around. That could have actually been Matthew Telder. Yep, that's Matthew Telder. He gets the wave around, and that brings him back to the tail end of the lead lap. Austin Reedy has left the race. And Matthew Telder now takes advantage of that, taking a pit stop that will still keep him on the back end of the lead lap, obviously. Cardwell is doing the same thing. Maybe worried about his tires. Bradley Minor coming in. Well, Bradley has a little bit of a blinking issue every once in a while. There you see the field on the backstretch. You can stay there as long as you want. As long as the field doesn't catch up with you, you will be okay. The 15 leaving. And it looks to me like Telder is having some of that damage repaired as much as he can get done before those guys get too close. Obviously, he wants to stay on that lead lap. The 24 is leaving now. And there we see Telder leaving as well, and as you can tell, they're staying on the lead lap. The field has not passed them by. Well, that pretty much brings us back to where we were before, with Mark Herzog in the first position and Timothy Trowbridge in second. Big difference is that Michael Steffen is now third, and Samuel Fontaine has worked his way to fourth position. Lights on the truck are off. That means we're going to go racing. The next time we come by here, we will be racing again, and it'll be lap 100, 26 laps to go. Looks like we're going single file. That is fairly good news for the leader. And it looks like Telder has been in pit road once again. And he's going to have to hurry now. There we go. Mark Herzog is on the gas already. Leading in front of Timothy Trowbridge. Michael Steffen there in third. Fontaine coming under pressure from Adam O'Brien, it looks like. Herzog and Trowbridge going at it for the lead together. Ooh, they pulled a good gap there on Steffen. Steffen coming under pressure from Samuel Fontaine. There you see it. The 91 going underneath picks up third position. Trowbridge still making good work here of Herzog. He is not getting anything for free tonight. There you go, coming to the inside. And it looks like the 074 picks up that lead, but the 47's not quite giving up. Still side by side. And Mark Herzog, let's ride along with him here real quickly. Looking at the back end of Timothy Trowbridge in the 074. And you can see Mark Herzog using that draft on that backstretch to come a little bit closer. Their lines are a little bit different. It looks to me like Mark Herzog is just kind of waiting right now. Obviously, you don't want to overdo it and burn up your tires before you really get a chance to start fighting for that lead. Fontaine and O'Brien. Keep an eye and see if they get closer. Cardwell in fifth with Steffen dropping back to sixth. Matthew Telder at the tail end of that lead lap. Herzog is definitely keeping up with the man in front of him. He might still have something up his sleeve. And Fontaine and O'Brien are going at it there for third. They are not gaining on Herzog. They're fighting their own battle here. And we see Mark Herzog coming to the inside of Timothy, and that tells me that something has happened to Timothy. It looks like that 074 washes up way high in the gray area, and the 47 takes advantage of that. So once again, Mark Herzog in front. And now it's Timothy being the chaser. And checking back here on Fontaine and Adam O'Brien for third position, still going at it. Looks like Dave and Cardwell is closing in a little bit on these guys. O'Brien trying the lower side. Cardwell's definitely closing in on him. Cardwell looks like he's got a strong car once again. Fontaine seems to be pulling away a little bit. Especially coming off the turns, it looks like Fontaine's stronger there. And there you see Cardwell challenging the 74. Ooh, connection issue for Cardwell there. There, he's back. Side by side on the main straightaway. And it looks like he's got the position there. He gets in front of Adam O'Brien. And it looks like Timothy Trowbridge is having trouble keeping up with Herzog. Herzog is now about 1.3 seconds ahead. We are already on lap 116, so we have 10 laps to go. Guys working their way through the traffic. It looks like the 25 is extremely slow there. Not sure what's wrong with him. Maybe just being a little bit too careful. He does not have the pace. That is not true for this man. Mark Herzog has the pace better than anybody else. Trowbridge in second. Samuel Fontaine in third. With a strong charging Cardwell in fourth. O'Brien having to accept his fate, I guess. '15 is definitely looking strong. Closing in on the 91. But Fontaine is responding by the 25, I'm sorry, the 15 goes in there super deep, almost running into. Now that is odd. Oh, it looks like we have expired the time. While up 120, they are giving us the finish, and it looks like we have expired on time. And folks, that means that Mark Herzog picks up another win. Timothy Trowbridge second, as he did in the modified race. He brings it home in second here as well. And the top three guys there, parking them nicely. There is your top three: Mark Herzog, Timothy Trowbridge, and Samuel Fontaine. Let's go see if we can find them and talk to them. Sam, this is Mark in the booth. We talked to each other once again, my friend. This time you're on the lowest part of the rostrum, but still a very good finish. You struggled a little bit in the beginning, it seemed.
Yeah, I had some trouble to figure out the truck and the track, but at the end, starting 10th, finishing third, it was kind of a good race. It was fun.
Yeah, do you think your early pit stop there helped you a little bit moving your way forward? You were I guess one of the first ones to take that pit stop on that first yellow, And then after that, the other guys had to pit under green. Obviously, that helped you a little bit, didn't it?
I don't, maybe a little bit because I just took fuel, so it helped to make the truck a little bit more loose, I think. But otherwise, it was just for the repairing the damage that I had on the guy who doored me a little bit on the initial caution. Otherwise, I was trying to keep my tire for the end of the race in case that we have a late caution.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, that is. So you didn't take tires on that first pit stop?
Not at all. I conserved pretty well, I guess, my tire during the long runs. It gave me like good opportunities to pass the guy in sixth and fifth place, and after that, like with the late caution we had the opportunity to fight for the top three.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, okay. So I get it. That makes good sense. All right. Well, once again, Samuel, a great result for you here at the trucks. I believe we talked in the truck race last week as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that time in third place, but yeah, it's a fun series.
All right, Tim, you're second twice tonight. Good job, my friend. You gave Mark a good run for his money there. What was it that got him to go by you?
I'd definitely say Mark was really good on the long. I had something figured out on the short runs, but it burned the heck out of the tires really quick. So really, anything less than 20 laps, I think I could have held Mark, but Mark was really good on those long runs. So once I knew I could get him right there at the end, and then I was kind of shooting for I was crossing my fingers for an early yellow, and sounded like the rain was coming pretty quick. So I was hoping to get an early yellow and be out front when it mattered. But we went green to the end, and Mark was able to pull off.
Yeah, I believe I did see you wash up quite high a couple of times. Was that basically just your tires just giving up on you a little bit, overdoing it on the early part of the stages?
I was able to, like I said, this truck was feeling really good on the short runs, but they burned off real quick. That's why I just had to take the gamble there on that long green flag run and come in, be the first one on tires, and it helped definitely. I was able to catch the guys, and then we got that late yellow. Luckily, was able to pass the leader and stay on the lead lap. So
Gotcha, I gotcha. Well, Mark, once again, congratulations. It looks like you are still the man to beat in this series, and I am fairly sure you've got this thing wrapped up for next week, don't you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't look at the points, but it's been fun. And Tim here gave me everything I could go for. And anything under about 30, 35 laps, I consider a short run, and I suck at those. And I was just hoping I could stay close enough to him to catch him after about 15 or 20 laps, which I was lucky enough to be able to do.
So what makes that shorter run difficult for you? What is the problem? What makes you say that you suck at the shorter runs?
I just don't have the capability to do a short run without wrecking the truck. I mean, the guy to be able to do a short run at the speeds that Tim is going, you got to be able to throw it in there and hang on to it. And I just sometimes can't do that. I'm a rhythm person, so it takes me about 15 laps to get into a rhythm.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is you're a rhythm person. You're a little bit more conservative in that rhythm as a whole, and that works better on the longer stints than on the shorter ones.
I can throw it for about 4 or 5 laps, and then after that, I got to either wreck or I got to back out of it and try to conserve it. And like I said, I was lucky enough to keep Tim within a couple 3/10, and then I was able to reel him in when he burned up a little bit.
I hear you. I hear you. All right, guys. I want to give each and every one of you the chance to say to shout out some love yous, starting with Sam. Anybody you want to thank tonight?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty basic. My team, Moneymaker, Motorsports, we had a pretty good race tonight. I think two in the top five, including me. You for the broadcast, of course, and like again the league. Mike and Jake doing a great job to put it together.
Thank you very much, Sam, and go celebrate, my friend. Tim?
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, once again, throw out a little thank you for the broadcast. Thanks to the Short Track Super League. Like I said, it was pretty exciting. Pretty good showing for the first night out, both in the mods and in the trucks. Hopefully, it's not always going to be a bridesmaid story, and try and give Mark a good run for his money next time. Give a shout out to the Imperial Motorsports boys, my team, always backing me. And then, like I said before, good old sponsor, Checkers and Wreckers. Like I said, check them out on Facebook. They're trying to get to 10K followers, so pretty close. So Go give them a like.
Cool. All right, folks, you go check it out. And Mark,
The usual, I got to thank you for putting on a broadcast, the league for running this, Mike and his buddies for putting on a good show, all the guys that are clean and respectful racing. Got to thank the wife for letting me have a couple, 3 hours a night to do this. And I think it's beer time.
there you go. All right, enjoy, my friends.
Thank you again, Mark.
You bet. All right, folks, there you have it. That was your top 3 finishers here at the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Ohio, Iowa. I'm sorry, I have a tendency of mixing those states up. I don't know why I do that. Let's go check back on our final standings here. It's Mark Herzog on top. Once again, Timothy Trowbridge, first outing in both the series here tonight. He scored second in the modifieds and second here at the trucks. So a good night for him on his first outing. Samuel Fontaine on the podium once again here at the Iowa Speedway. So there you have it, your top 3 finishers. Next week we're going to wrap this series up at Rockingham Raceway. That is one of the tracks that I have personally not ever run yet, so I can't tell you too much about it. But knowing the guys in this series and knowing the admins, we are in for a good night of racing there as well. So hope to see you there. Stay safe out there and be kind to one another. We hope to see you next week for both the modifieds and the trucks. This is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark, and enjoy the rest of your night.